Let the record show that the regular Riverview City Council meeting was called to order at 7 p.m. on June 16th, 2025. Will the clerk please take roll?
Councilmember Ganaga? Here. Councilmember O'Neill?
Here.
Councilmember Prey? Here. Councilmember Robbins?
Here.
Mayor Swift?
Here.
Councilmember Webb?
Here.
Councilmember Workman?
Let the record show that Councilmember Workman is excused. Tonight we have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilwoman O'Neill and invocation by Councilman Prey. Will you please rise?
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
O Lord, we thank you for the many blessings towards us, and we ask that you now look upon your elected servants in this community and guide them in their civic duties, give them wisdom and strength in carrying out their tasks. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for that. Jeff, any announcements?
Yes, Your Honor, I only have one announcement. I want to congratulate Council Member Susan O'Neill for her first birdie putt for her first time playing in the Riverview Invitational. So it was really good and got the team off on the right foot. So
I noticed you didn't thank me. I didn't get any birdies.
and that's all.
Did it? Okay, thank you. I do have a couple. First off, speaking of the Invitational, I want to congratulate Sean Ingram and the city manager and the entire golf crew. Put on an awesome invitational last Thursday, raised a lot of money to pay the note for the improvements for the golf course, and they did a really great job. Had a good time, really good turnout, and actually the weather cooperated this year too, so good job with you guys. Also, Todd Dickman, our recreation director, another great turnout at Summerfest. Friday was a little light with the rain, but I think Saturday, made up for it. Got a lot of positive feedback on the fireworks again this year, so thank you to you and your staff, Todd, for a great job, and DPW and everybody else, and the whole team. Oh, actually, everybody participated in that, the DPW, fire department, everybody. Another great job. With that, we have awards and presentations. 4-1, present a proclamation recognizing and expressing the City of Riverview's deep appreciation to the West Bloomfield Fire Chief Greg Flynn for the generous donation of a fire safety trailer to the Riverview Fire Department. Also present a check for repairs and improvements to Chief Glenn Owens from the Kiwanis Club of Riverview. Gentlemen, please come up.
Assistant Chief Lowry.
Nice to meet you.
I'm better looking than Greg.
Okay, all right, awesome.
You know him, that's why he sent me.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Just a little bit of history. Chief Owens, sometime at the end of May, I think it was, emailed council that you guys had made the donation to the fire safety trailer to the city. And shortly after, he gave me a tour of it, and it's in really good shape. It's a really nice trailer, but it needs a little bit, some TLC. So he's explained all the things that needed, and we have a newly formed Rotary Club that loves working with other civic groups. So actually we had the Kiwanis this year, spearheaded the fundraiser to get some of the improvements. He said $2,000 or $3,000 to get it fixed up. So with that, we put the word out. Anybody who makes a donation of $500 gets their name on the trailer. We have a lot of vain people here like me who want to make see our name on the trailer. So it worked out. And actually, what I want to point out right away is we have a really nice, generous couple who lives in Riverview, Mike and Miko Caesar. So we put a goal of raising $3,000. So we're into this fundraiser, and they sent me email, said they wanted to pay the whole $3,000. So they made a check out for $3,000. It's just totally amazing. So, but really, it gave us actually more motivation, because I've heard that this thing runs on jet fuel. Is it true? It's, so I want to see the size of the engine in that thing. But
Sounds really neat, doesn't it? Yeah.
So, and that stuff's not cheap. So I think with some of the extra money, we can make it look really nice, and whatever safety improvements you need to do, and then money for fuel for the next few years or whatever. So with that, let me get my thing here. If you don't mind holding this for me, Chief. Sure. We have a proclamation. Before I get started too much, I want to invite everybody who donated Mr. Pease, the Knights of Columbus, Kiwanis, and Rotary, if you guys would come up here and help us present this. Come on, don't be shy. I don't want to do this by myself. So I invited members of all the clubs that donated, and anybody else who donated to make it. And the Caesars couldn't make it, so they apologize. So with that, this is a proclamation to you for the receiving of the trailer. Whereas the fire prevention education is a critical component of public safety, especially for our youngest residents, and mobile fire safety trailers serve as a powerful tool to teach children and families how to respond in emergency situations through safe, realistic simulations. And whereas the City of Riverview Fire Department was the recipient of the extraordinary and generous donation, such a trailer, from the West Bloomfield Fire Department under the leadership of your chief, Greg Flynn. Whereas the brand new fire safety trailers of this kind can cost anywhere between $40,000 and $100,000, making this donation not only a practical gift, but also a deeply valuable one in both financial and educational terms. And Chief Flynn and the West Bloomfield Fire Department exemplified the highest ideals of interdepartmental cooperation, public service, and community-minded generosity in providing Riverview with this critical public safety resource. And whereas this donation has directly enabled the City of Riverview and its fire department to enhance fire safety education across the downriver region, I believe this is going to be used across the region, maybe part of our mutual aid, and sparked a successful community-led fundraiser that raised over $7,100. And it lists the donors here, and I'll read them at the end. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed, the Mayor of City of Riverview, Andrew M. Swift, together with the Riverview City Council, does hereby extend our sincere gratitude and deepest appreciation to the West Bloomfield Fire Department and Chief Greg for their selfless and impactful donation of the Riverview Fire Safety Trailer. Be it further proclaimed, the above listed, along with the other individuals and businesses, because there were more, organizations that are commended for their generous support, which made it possible to restore and improve the trailer. It hasn't been restored yet, but it'll be there soon, I'm sure, and with vital safety training throughout the community. Be it further proclaimed that this donation shall stand as a long-lasting symbol of regional collaboration and public service, with the trailer being the names of those who helped will be listed on the trailer, traveling through the downriver community, a beacon of safety, education, and unity, signed by myself and the clerk. Thank you very much. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Are you folks? Yes. Thank you. You have no idea how much kids love this thing. You guys are going to be heroes whenever you do like an open house or whatever. Kids love it.
Okay.
Love it.
All right. Now, this is the good part. And before we get to the final total, I want to just acknowledge those who all donated. Biondo Cement Company, Carla and Bruce Kresline, Carol Owens, I think you know who that is, doing business with Carrie and the Clown. Okay. I've heard the name. Okay. Darlene and Andy Swift, Karen and Bruce Pease, Mike and Miko Caesar, like I said, they made the $3,000 donation. Thank you very much. And Pyramol Pharma Solutions, Riverview Towing, Riverview Kiwanis, Riverview Knights of Columbus, and the Riverview Rotary all donated, along with WF Whalen, actually a Rotary and WF Whalen employee down there. So with that, the total actually came to $7,250. And Diane, you want to give him the checks?
Sure.
This is Diane Kinlan. She's the president of the Kiwanis.
Yes.
Let's give them both to him. We don't want to give him any more money. So thank you, Diane, very much. All right. Can we give these people a round of applause? Don't sit down yet. Now, we want to get some pictures, right, Larry? Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Chief. Good to see you, Diane. Thanks for coming. Thank you. Nobody has to. Don't worry, we won't punish you. And I hope I didn't forget anybody. If I did, I'm very sorry. Okay, 5-1, approve the minutes of the 6/2/25 regular Riverview City Council meeting and condensed version for publication. What's council's pleasure?
So moved.
Motion by Councilwoman O'Neill, supported by Councilman Prey. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilmember O'Neill?
Yes.
Councilmember Prey? Yes. Councilmember Robbins?
Yes.
Mayor Swift?
Yes.
Councilmember Webb?
Yes.
Councilmember Ganaga? Yes.
Tonight, we have no public hearings. Now is the time for a public comment. Excuse me. Anyone wishing to address the mayor and council, please approach the podium, state your name and address for the record. Try to keep your comments to 5 minutes. There's no sharing of time and no rebuttals, and please be respectful. Yes, sir.
Ken Kyleman, 20243 Coachwood. Just a couple of brief things tonight. A number of meetings ago, Councilman Robbins asked a question that was asked to him by his daughter about a church was sponsoring some kind of activity on its property, and she wanted to know why the church had to fill out a form with the city to do that. And without getting into that, really, the answer was that there was a council policy that stated that. And I asked at that meeting if those council policies, because there apparently are numerous council policies that the public has some responsibility towards, is that available on the website anywhere, or is it available for the public? And nobody got back to me about that. So I'd ask again, are those council policies available on the website? And if they're not, could they be made available on the website so that citizens such as myself could view those? The second thing has to do with something that I've spoken publicly here about before, and I've written to you all about as well, and that has to do with the land preserve, the ad hoc land preserve committee meetings. And if my recollection is correct, since the council voted not to pursue an expansion of the landfill, either all or substantially all of the meetings of that committee have been canceled due to lack of agenda items. There's evidently nothing to talk about now since the landfill is closing, though a lot of the same business that went on before and was discussed at those meetings is still going on. And somewhat ironically, at the study session last week, the single item I think that took the most time and I think had the most intensity had to do with the leachate plant at the landfill. And it appeared that the council wasn't aware of a lot of the things that were going on about that. But that committee has 2 council members and the mayor that are a part of that. And if those meetings had been going on and that conversation had been going on, those 3 people that are before me now would have known about that and been able to discuss it with the other council members. So the study session could have been a bit more productive. So let me just say I'm disappointed that you're not taking advantage of that opportunity to oversee what is the largest asset of the city right now and is going to have the biggest impact on our future here in the coming year. So I'd encourage you to start those meetings back up and discuss things like the gas plant, the leachate, the final closure, and how that's all going to be funded. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anybody else? This is your chance, Bruce. We have no organizational business. Is there any item council wants removed from the consent agenda? Seeing none. 9-1, award cooperative bid purchase of one 2025 Ford Explorer to Gorno Ford in the amount of $43,782 for the police department. 9-2, award cooperative bid purchase of one 2025 Ford all-wheel drive utility patrol car to Gorno Ford in the amount of $46,295. 9-3, approve flock contract, 1-year contract for $31,300, police department. 9-4, award cooperative bid to Applied Innovation for the purchase of a Ricoh C710 color copier in the amount of $16,138. 9-5, authorize extension of the payment joint sealing and seal coating program with Al's Asphalt from the boat ramp parking lot contract for the 2025 Library Community Center and City Hall parking lots joint sealing and sealing coating in the amount of $28,000 plus 10% contingency in the amount of $2,800 for a total of $30,800. Authorize engineering fees with the CE Rains Company to perform marketing, contract administration, inspection, and as-built in the amount not to exceed $3,500. 9-6, approve budget amendments. And that's it. What's council's pleasure?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Webb, supported by Councilwoman O'Neill. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Robbins.
I apologize. I think I missed the window, but could we discuss the flat cameras before we vote?
Go ahead.
I just had a few questions. We discussed it in a study session, but I just had a couple questions, probably directed to the chief, I would imagine. These cameras are a grant, but the maintenance will have a cost tied to them. Is that correct?
The contract is all-encompassing, so they would maintain those cameras.
Okay. So there wouldn't be a cost to the city?
Well, there's a cost, the contract would be $31,000, then the next year if we renew would be $26,000. That would be to maintain the ones that we're going to have.
Okay. Also, have you seen in the current ratio of crime in the city, any type of substantial benefit that these would have in maybe lowering those? Is it a vast amount of crimes, or?
Well, just recently, I think we had, 10 uses we just used within the year, so we've solved 10 crimes from those cameras this year, utilizing other departments' cameras.
Okay. And this one would probably go to legal, if I may. Do you happen to see any type of, I mean, I realize that other cities, other departments are using them, but we've always been, considered this bedroom community, and I've tossed this around for a while, but the whole, surveillance state aspect of things, I know everything has its benefits, but I don't know where that sort of thing will end, and it's not a knock on our department. I think our guys and gals are wonderful. They won't always be in the positions they're currently in, and we can't see who's going to be there in the future. The possible misuses of them, I don't know, and the Fourth Amendment issues that may arise with this mass surveillance, if you will.
So basically, as it relates to what I'll call the legal use, we have things in place now, and I'm sure the chief is aware of things like the LEAN, which is the Law Enforcement Information Network. That's something where someone who's been trained, every time they go in, they have to give a ID number, it has to be verified, the whole 9 yards, and that cuts down on misuse as well. But this system, my understanding and my reading does not show that this is really invasive from the standpoint of it's just reading a plate, and it's kind of going back and doing things that basically any department could almost do, except it's being done live, which, as the chief mentioned, could really cut down on crimes. So I don't necessarily see a Fourth Amendment violation as much as I see if there is misuse. I'm sure there are some systems and things in place that, like any other tool, that would rise up, and the chief would have some sort of policy in place to address those misuses.
Gotcha. And to just reiterate, I'm not questioning your integrity of the use of this sort of system whatsoever. It's just a lot of concern around town is where does it stop, and you won't be here forever, and could it be used for other things? It's a lot of paranoia going around about it. So is this it reads license plates, correct?
That's correct, and another reason why I only did a 1-year contract is for this reason, so we could test it out to see how the city felt about it. But yeah, this technology reads a license plate. It'll give us information, let's say, on a stolen vehicle or a wanted vehicle for something. The policy states that the officers can't just take that. They have to do an investigation on top of that before they can act upon that.
Oh, so for example, a license plate pops. Then how would that sort of thing be handled? I mean, obviously, if it's a violent crime, there would be intervention immediately, I would assume. But if it were, say, somebody's license was suspended or something like that, how would that equate?
It's not going to pop for a suspended license. It's going to pop for some kind of vehicle that's wanted for a serious crime. Let's say it's a stolen vehicle. We get the license plate, the make, model of the vehicle. The officer needs to verify that that's the correct make and model before they would stop it.
Okay. All right.
Or if there's an Amber Alert and you have a plate number associated with the vehicle that would show up?
I believe it probably would be tied to an Amber Alert, yes, because what it does is the license plate reader takes that information and it runs it through our database, the NCIC, lean, that kind of stuff, and it gives you the hits and the wants, and that should be attached to it. That's correct.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Councilman Prey.
I understand Councilman Robbins' concerns. Like him, I'm a constitutionalist, but after a lot of research and especially after Chief Allen's email, that's 8 separate cases where these cameras led to an arrest. It's no secret that for a while there we had break-ins into vehicles in the city of Riverview. With technology advancing, almost everybody's got a Ring camera or everything like that. There's cases that show that you have people covering their faces, you have people hiding who they are, coming up to porches, breaking into vehicles and whatnot. Everybody gets the make and model of the car. That's where these flock cameras are going to do the best. I'm sorry, but when scumbags come into the city and they realize that our police officers have technology, a way to catch them, it's going to decrease the motivation to come to Riverview. That's the way I look at it. I went back and forth on this multiple times. To me, this is a proactive tool. My biggest thing is obviously having children. The benefit far outweighs any possible misuse or any bad actions by somebody. I fully support this. So that's all.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Prey?
Yeah.
Councilmember Robbins?
No.
Mayor Swift?
Yes?
Councilmember Webb?
Just to be clear, we're voting on the consent agenda.
We're voting on the consent agenda, which includes the flock cameras.
Yes.
Councilmember Ganaga?
Yes.
Councilmember O'Neill?
Yes.
We have no resolutions tonight. Under administration, award purchase of one dry prime CD 150S diesel pump in the amount of $58,424.80 from Exelum Dewatering Solutions and accept a grant from Michigan Municipal Risk Management Authority in the amount of $25,000. It's council's pleasure.
So moved.
Support.
Okay, who made the motion? Motion by Councilman Webb, supported by Councilwoman O'Neill. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Robbins?
Yes.
Mayor Swift?
Yes.
Councilmember Webb?
Yes.
Councilmember Ganaga?
Yes.
Councilmember O'Neill?
Yes.
Councilmember Prey?
Yes.
11.2, award bid and authorize execution of agreement for the sanitary relief sewer between Bedford Street and Pennsylvania Road with DVM Utilities, Inc. in the amount of $5,286,564, plus 10% contingency in the amount of $528,656.40, for a total of $5,815,220.40. Also authorize engineering fees in the amount not to exceed $581,522 for field engineering, contract administration, coordination, inspection, stakeout, testing, and as-built. Department of Public Works. What's council's pleasure?
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Councilman Ganaga, supported by Councilman Robbins. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mayor Swift?
Yes.
Councilmember Webb?
Yes.
Councilmember Ganaga?
Yes.
Councilmember O'Neill?
Yes.
Councilmember Prey?
Yes.
Councilmember Robbins?
Yes.
Tonight, we have no ordinances or any other business council wants to bring up.
Mr. Mayor?
Councilman Prey.
I just wanted to echo your statements earlier about the Summerfest. I actually had family come in from out of town. It was kind of funny because I actually got massive compliments. Chief Allen, Chief Owens, DPW, Parks and Rec. They were astounded with the police presence, the fire department constantly making runs, how clean the park was. From top to bottom, it was a great time. I just wanted to reiterate the mayor's comments. Thank you guys very much for all your hard work. My stepdaughter actually got to talk with the police, and she thought that was cool as hell, how friendly the officers were. So it was pretty cool. So that's all.
It is pretty cool to talk to those guys, isn't it? Yeah. Anybody else? And I'll respond to Mr. Kyleman's questions about the council policy. I don't know if the council policy is on the website. I just have a question for you. Are you referring to the policy that deals with the park permits, or just all right? All right. We'll find out. I don't know if they are. I don't know if you can answer that either. But we'll find out. And also about the landfill committee meetings. Sure, there are still things left to talk about, and I believe the intent is that the major issues now will be brought right to council instead of going to the landfill committee first. It's that important that the whole council be from the start. Now, as far as things was the leachate plant, yeah, I don't know, we may have missed the boat on that one. We really should have. There should have been more background provided before the study session. So we will, and we'll make sure that doesn't happen. But I'm sure there'll be times when you'll have to reinstate that committee, and I don't know if you need the landfill committee to actually determine the end use. I mean, because we're going to require a lot of public input on that. I think you, Brian, on your National Night Out survey I think there's some final uses.
Oh, for the vision plan, yes.
Yeah, the vision plan, yes. So it's going to come from many angles, the end use of the landfill. But I do want to point out, and thanks for the reminder, is this the connection to the Dua Tunnel, that this $5 million, normally, I mean, there had been a good chance that money could have come from the landfill if we got the expansion. This is just another one of the examples where there's a limited life on the landfill. All the monies generated at the landfill are going to be dedicated for the post-closure costs, which are enormous. So there is, at some point in time, there is going to be an impact of us not having the landfill. It's just that simple. You can't take $1.5 million to $3 million a year and just say we don't need it anymore. It's got to come from somewhere else. It's got to come from somewhere else. I'll say our staff, Ann and Jeff, have done a great job, and the landfill director of finding other ways for the money's going to come in from several other pockets. The royalties from the gas plant, and certainly while the landfill's open, we're going to be all that money's going to be directed to the post-closure costs. But at some point in time, there's other monies that may be needed. I know there's some debt falling off, so we're rearranging it. We're good for 5, 6, 7 years, but at some point after the landfill closes, there's some issues we're going to have to address. Obviously, we're going to be pursuing grants from the county, the Eagle, and all those to help us pay for the post-closure. So, I mean, that's kind of where we stand. If we had the expansion, which Councilman Workman, even though he's not here, would remind us, without the expansion, we've given up $300 million over the next 15, 20 years. So, one thing we do have on the plate is with our economic development plan, maybe some new subdivisions being built in place, or at least 9 of the holes of the golf course, which will be additional revenue. So, I mean, I really got to compliment this council and staff. We're pursuing ways to avoid any type of tax increase. Jeff, you want to add to that?
Yes, Your Honor. I would also mention that we're reviewing other enterprise-type functions at the landfill that may not replace the landfill's money dollar for dollar, but if we can replace it 50, 60 cents a dollar, that will also help. So we're way too early to talk about that, but there are a couple different ideas that we're working on right now that seem positive, at least at the initial step. So we'll bring it back to council, of course, when we have something solidified. And as far as, the landfill and, when I really feel we have something to discuss, I'm going to get it out to you. This person that we took on for the engineering fees to double check our current engineer was for that reason. There's none of us sitting right here that know exactly how to treat PFAS. So, and I didn't feel comfortable just letting one group tell me that. I want it double-checked, because this will be a big process for the city of Riverview. However, as soon as we get that design build, we're going to sit down and talk about it. We're not there yet. It should be by the end of the month. And again, I always go back that, council's decision makers, and you need to know. So, okay? Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Webb.
may I make a comment on Mr. Collins' repeated requests? Being an alternate on the Riverview Land Preserve ad hoc committee, I see both sides of this question or this request. I do see the value of having those discussions well before they're actually come to a decision and at the point where we're making a vote on it. And sometimes I personally feel not fully informed on those requests that we're asked to make a decision on. And I feel that sometimes that information comes after the decision's already been made, such as the risk management manager. Although I do believe and agree with the need for one, I was not aware that we were looking for one, or that there was what the need was until it was actually brought to the table. But on the other side of the coin, I do see that people that are on council that are not part of the landfill ad hoc committee are often not aware of what goes on in those discussions. And that's why I see the value of bringing everything forward to the study session so that everybody's getting the same information at the same time. I would just ask that information is brought forward a little more in advance. I understand City Manager Dobek's waiting until we have maybe a full decision that the council needs to be informed on, but I think we need to be involved in steps along that process so that we can give feedback before we get to the point where a decision needs to be made. That's my input.
Thank you. Anybody else? With that,
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Robbins.
I just want to say that I hear and respect Councilman Webb's points on that. I do know that sometimes it appears from the outside that things don't get talked about. I feel like I probably owe our city manager an apology because I do pop in on him quite often and I do make phone calls and he's very quick to respond. And so personally, I had to make some of that. I had feelings similar and I had to make my own personal efforts to be able to sort of like be in the know before I got here. So I'm just putting that out there as well. Like, he'll answer the phone, so we just gotta, all of us, we got questions, through the week too. It's not a horrible idea to pop in or give a call, that's all.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Your Honor, one thing I'll say is, I don't want to barrage all of council with the details, right? Like things that we don't even know what's going forward. So what I'm trying to do is collect the information, organize it, and at least tell you what's coming down the pike, right? So if you sat through some of the meetings that we're having with the engineering groups, it'd be a total waste of your time.
Yeah, no thanks.
So I'm trying to alleviate that and bring summaries back. I'm not gonna approve something unilaterally without the vote of this council. So, I just want to make sure you know that I'm not gonna. Everything will come to you that's needs, and rightfully so. Under this format, it's my job to operate and make sure the city runs smoothly and the projects run smoothly. It's your job to be informed and either say yes or no for the money, right? You don't manage what engineer or what, however, that's my job. Your job is to make sure that it's funded and that we do this properly through the charter requirements. So I just want to make sure that I feel as soon as I get information, I'm just going to start pushing it out. But I don't have a concrete plan yet. We're still in that organization of letting people design this thing, and I'll be happy to share everything with you as soon as I get something I can share.
Thank you.
Sorry, Your Honor. One more.
Go ahead.
Well, I want to make sure I was recognized first before I speak out of turn.
Councilman Webb.
I just want to clarify for you, Mr. Dobek, I'm not asking to be involved in every little piece of information or meeting or things like that, but when you think you're coming to a final decision, if you could bring the things to the study sessions so that we are all aware of maybe what your thought processes or the needs are and what the expenditure is going to be, so that, yes, we get background and we can read through that documentation. Maybe Councilmember Robbins has a little more free time than I do, but I agree. If we have questions, we all try to reach out, but that's the whole point of having the study session, so everybody's asking the same questions or hearing the same question and getting the same feedback. And I think that was one of the points of Mr. Conlon, is that we have a lot of big decisions coming up. We have a large letter of credit for the post-closure funds, which we need to, it's ever increasing. We have leachate plant, now we have risk management, and we have engineering. There's a lot going on there that we're out of our purview. So I think that was one of the important things of those landfill committee meetings that came from it. But if we're going with this way, and I agree, let's give it a shot and continue with it. Just keep us informed and don't over-inundate us, but don't under-inform us as well. Thank you.
I have a comment. You don't mind?
Councilwoman O'Neill.
I agree with, I never felt very informed with the landfill committee. If I couldn't make it at 5:30, and you don't get minutes until they're approved to the following meeting. So I myself prefer that it just be in the study sessions and everybody's there to talk about it and form an opinion and ask all their questions. Me, myself, if I have questions for Jeff, I call him on my lunch break because that's what works for me. But I think if everybody finds the time to communicate with him, he's usually pretty good to get a hold of and he will call you back. But the ad hoc landfill, just, I don't feel like I got enough information. Everybody that was in it didn't send out an email and say this is what was talked about. And then there's things that said, oh, it was agreed upon in the committee. So then we're just, I think the study sessions are a better idea. Just my opinion.
And I'll add to that even. And I think that was the point of, one of the points of, not that we've eliminated the landfill committee meetings because they can still happen, but to Mr. Common's point, now there's big decisions that need to be made. And it's better, I think, that the whole council hear them all at the same time. Everybody gets, because obviously on your landfill committee meeting, we would get some information from Jeff or the landfill that maybe only we got, because we need to talk about it at the landfill meeting. Just take that information and send it to all of council. And so we all need to be on the same page at the same time. So with that, I will look for a motion from Councilwoman O'Neill to adjourn.
So moved.
Support from Councilwoman Ganaga. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Webb.
Yes.
Councilmember Ganaga.
Yes.
Councilmember O'Neill.
Yes.
Councilmember Prey.
Yes.
Councilmember Robbins.
Yes.
Mayor Swift.
Yes. Let the record show we adjourned at 7:38. Thank you, everybody.